Hi everyone, welcome to Eden's Secret. Today we are continuing with Cake Week, but this will be our last one and we're going to make some mini cupcakes. I was going to make more cake slices, but they take up a lot of room on the shelves and I've run out of room. So we're going to make some mini cupcakes because I've got orders for those coming in. And then we'll make that it for now for the cakes, and next week we're going to move on to Halloween. Now I know it's really late, but I thought this year I'm actually going to make just a few Halloween inspired products. So as you can see, we're getting right into it today with the pouring of the oil. And now it's time to pour the lye solution. Lisa at I Dream in Soap has been making her lye in a bottle, and I thought that was a scary idea, but a good idea. I haven't been making the lye solution in the bottle. I've still made it in my jug, and then once it's cooled down a bit, I've put it into a bottle with a lid. And I'm just using the bottle that the original granules come in. It's nice and strong. The plastic's nice and strong. It scared me a bit putting the lye solution straight into the bottle, because it does get very hot and you've got to stand over it and keep unscrewing the lid and then re-screwing it and unscrewing it. And because I'm busy, I'm really scared that I might forget to go and unscrew the lid. So letting the lye solution cool down in the jug for at least half an hour and then popping it into a bottle has worked fantastically well. And the best part about it means you don't get any of that scummy stuff on the top of the lye solution. So I want to thank Lisa for that. I know she got the idea from, I think it was the guy that owns Stevenson's. I might be wrong. But yeah, it works very, very well. But I'm not suggesting you mix it in the bottle, because I find that's a little bit, well, I found it scary. So now, when I make soap, I always blend it to a very light emulsification. I never blend it all the way to trace, because if you've been watching my videos a long time, you'll know that I like to blend my fragrances and my colours into the batter, straight into the batter, rather than dissolving them in oil. And doing it this way just gives it gives me a bit more time to work with the batter. So you know you're at trace when you lift your blender up and it actually leaves ribbons on the top. Well, as you can see, this hasn't got the ribbons, but it is opaque, and you can see that all of the oil has been mixed with the lye solution. If you remember, just before I started blending this, it was clear. And that's what you're looking for if you want to go for a very light emulsification. So I'm just going to give it another little blast. And the recipe, as usual, is in the description box below the video. So now we're going to move on to pouring the bases of the cupcake soaps. We will be using multiple different colours, at least 5. So you can see the measurements well on the outside of the jug. This blue colour will eventually wear off, but it is raised lettering numbers. So you can still see it even when that blue was worn off, but it will wear off eventually. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put 550 mils of soap batter in there. And then I'm going for Sparkle Buttercup Mica from You Make It Up. Not too much. And then we need some fragrance as well. So I'm going to go with the Sour Watermelon Candy from Nature's Garden. About 15 mils in there. And then we're going to blend that in. Now when you're doing like cupcakes, you needn't worry too much about creating air bubbles, but you can just give it a stir and that'll relax and pop some of the air bubbles that you've just created. So in about an hour's time, we'll be able to pipe on top of these, okay? And that's just enough to make 24. Okay, if you only want to make 12 mini cupcakes, then you're just going to pour just under 300 grams of batter in there. This time I'm doing Snow Fairy, and I'm going to do the bright orange fluorescent mica to go with the Snow Fairy. So remember not to put as much fragrance in this time. I've put about 8 mils in there. And this Snow Fairy is from Supplies. Well, it's called the Soap Kitchen now, and it's very Pear Dropsy. It's not an identical dupe of Snow Fairy from Lush. it's much more what I call pear drops. If you're not in the UK, you might not know what pear drops are, and they are a sweet. That's what we call sweets, or in the States you call them candies. So hopefully this time I'm only going to be able to pour 12. Now if I can find the molds, I'll put a link to those in the description box below as well. And if you're making anything that's small, that looks like food, you need to make sure, buy yourself a choke hazard tube to make sure what you're making doesn't actually fit into there. You can also get bite tests done through trading standards, or you can probably, I'm sure you can probably arrange to have bite tests done yourself. Maybe ring your local trading standards office, they'll be able to help you with that. Okay, we're going for pink this time, and again I'm just going to pour 300 grams of soap batter in there. I forgot, like the first colour I made, the yellow, I didn't need 24, I only needed 12, so that's why I've changed it to 300 grams. And I'm not cleaning the jug out or anything in between, because you can see I've scraped it well, and getting as much of that soap batter out of there as I possibly can. And I am using the Love Spell from Grace Fruit, which I think is the best Love Spell. The other Love Spell that's fabulous if you're overseas is Nature's Garden. It's really, really nice. The Soap Kitchen one is nice, but I think this one is better. It's more expensive, this one, of course. But I just think it soaps better, and the smell is just a little bit more exquisite. Now this fragrance, it takes a long time to set, so I'll probably pipe onto this one last. But I can see the Snow Fairy is already almost set, so it's only took about 5 minutes for that one. The reason I make a mistake in flooding is because I'm trying to look at the monitor on the back of the camera to make sure you can actually see what I'm doing. That's how I end up making the mistakes of putting too much in the mould, like this one here and this one. And this time I'm using the Violet Blue 40F from Mineral Makeup Ingredients. It just gives a lovely lavendery, violety, gorgeous purple. And that Blackberry Jam will overpower the Love Spell. So I can already see that that is thicker than the other ones that I've poured, but we're still okay. We're going to have plenty of time to pour this one, but just be careful if you do buy that Blackberry Jam that it can, because it moves very fast actually, it can seize your soap. but it does hold well. The fragrance holds really well, and it is one of the nicer ones, I think, from Supplies. It is one of the nicer ones from the Soap Kitchen. Okay, so we're going in for the green now. And I'm using a little bit of Oasis from You Make It Up. And we're also using a bit of the Jean Paul Gaultier Classic Le Mal fragrance, and this was from Sensory Perfection. This one moves quite fast as well. It is a stunning fragrance, this, very, very strong, and the best Le Mal fragrance that I've ever smelt, and the strongest. So I think it's called, oh, something for men. Stylish Man it's called on the Sensory Perfection website. So look how thick that is already. I've either poured short, or because it's thicker, more is going into each compartment. Okay, so I am going to wash out my container now, and then as soon as these are set, we're literally just going to repeat the process, and the same amount of batter is what you want for your topping, which is great, isn't it? So we'll start with the yellow again, then the orange, then the pink, then the purple, then the green. So this gives me a great chance to use all my lovely new jugs, and a good tip at this point is to divide the batter that you have left in your pot into however many different colours you've got. So I've got 5, but obviously my yellow is twice the size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 300 grams, 300 mils into each one of these containers, and perhaps there'll be 600 left over for the yellow. Okay, so I had a bit of a spill here trying to move these, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that again and then pipe onto these ones here, because I've ended up with probably not enough soap batter for the tops. And as I said, this Blackberry, it moves pretty fast. So it's thickened up more than I would like. As you can see, I'm making a right hash of this. Some are going to be okay, some are not. It was a typical not preparing for what I was going to do. I put the fragrance in first, then I decided, oh, I need to find all the piping nozzles, because I've got 5 of the 1M, which is what I'm using. And then I had realised, oh, I hadn't moved these trays, So I've ended up with a bit of a mishmash on this one, just on this fragrance though, because what you must not do is put the fragrance in all of your batters. If you do that, then you're probably going to fail somewhere down the line. So I'm doing the fast moving fragrances first, the Blackberry, and then I'll do the Jean Paul Gaultier next, and I'll just work my way through probably Snow Fairy, and then the yellow, and then the Love Spell, because as you can see the Love Spell's still very runny. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to move some. Luckily this purple one is nice and solid, so I can actually lift that one and move it. But the ones that are liquid still, you just have to drag them. And because I'm doing the green next, and the green is solid, I can just lift it up like that and move it. The purple goes there, and then the green over here, and this purple one over there. Now if you're moving one that is still liquid, you've just got to gently move it either way or whichever way, like so. Right, I'm now gonna get my green blended, and I've got all my piping bags and nozzles all ready to go now, so we'll be absolutely fine for this one. Okay, so my soap batter is a lot looser now. And see how much neater it is. It doesn't split and break up on the definition. It's funny because in the old days I used to like my batter stiff like this, like the purple, but it actually does look so much neater if you do it when it's a little bit looser. And it also sticks to the bases better as well. But if it is looser, just be careful, because if you move the mould when you've got loose batter on, that batter, the topping is going to spread and it'll end up flatter and it won't look as nice. So really the best thing for you to do is just not move your moulds once you've done your piping. But if you have to, I've shown you how to do it carefully. And I've misjudged the quantity of batter used, because usually what I do is I'll use one batch to pour all of the cupcake bases, and then I'll make a fresh batch for the top. But I actually haven't done that today, so I sort of had to guess how much I needed to do what I did, and I actually got it wrong, which is typical. So some of the bases are going to end up without any topping on them, but they'll go away for free samples for customers who purchase from the website. So there we are. We're just going to sprinkle some gold balls on there. whenever I use this fragrance, I always think, oh, I'm going to buy some more, but I'm not, because I'm really loving buying all these new fragrances now and just doing something different. Because for many years I just did the same fragrances over and over and over again, and I do still have quite a few of those fragrances. But out with the old and in with the new is my motto now. And we can have some new favourites instead of the good old favourites. Right, so that's the green done. So I'm also going to sprinkle some lovely green, deep green glitter on there. Just a tiny little bit, because it's actually quite hard to wash the glitter off these silicone moulds, and I don't want to get it all over them. So I got these fab spatulas from off Amazon, and I've been trying to find some smaller spatulas that are just the right size. The other ones I bought, which was these, they're just much bigger than they looked on the website. I mean, it's a really good quality spatula, but not what I was wanting really. That brand, if you're wondering, is called Scullery. No branding on this one, and I like how it's got a flat 90-degree edge there, so it'd be great for getting into corners and scraping. So I just thought I would use it to scrape this extra flooded soap off here. Now don't worry, if this happens to you, you can actually just let it set as you normally would, and then you can just use a potato peeler and you can take those edges off with a potato peeler once it's saponified overnight. No problem at all. So we're now ready to pipe the yellow. And this one was sour watermelon candy. Looks like I've done the top more yellow than the base, but that's fine. So Donald Trump has got coronavirus, and aren't the media dying to say he deserves it, or we told you so, or something like that. At the end of the day, not wearing masks, it's your choice to protect yourself. If you want to protect yourself and others, wear your mask. But I am certainly not the police on anything at all. Everybody just do what they think, because none of us are perfect in every way at everything. It's like remember one of the soap makers getting hundreds, maybe even thousands of comments about not using biodegradable glitter. Well, unless you're biodegradable in every way, shape or form, you can't really say anything. You know, if the food you buy isn't in biodegradable packaging, then you can't go and pull someone else up about using one thing that is biodegradable, not biodegradable. That's my opinion. It's like, I've seen some videos on YouTube, you know, loads of people having a go at other people for not wearing masks. Like, I just don't think it's up to us to go and confront other people like that. Each to their own, but nobody's perfect, so my opinion is keep your mouth shut. Okay, so we're now on with the Snow Fairy, as it's called. It does actually take quite some time to do this. Just waiting for all the different fragrances to thicken up. So I could have been making these for about 4 hours now. Probably quicker, just to make half a batch all in one colour and then another batch in another colour. But then that would take longer than 4 hours. Okay, and now we're ready to package. I'm saying package because I've just been answering an email about packaging. So I'm about to pipe the last one, so I'm just filling up my piping bag with the pink. Which was Love Spell, and it's almost ready to pipe, but I'm just going to pipe anyway because it's getting late now. It's actually dark. That's how long this fragrance takes to be thick enough to pipe. So it's probably been about at least 5 hours since I started making these now. I was surprised I haven't been mentioning that kind of thing before, but someone had asked that question and I thought, yeah, it's a reasonable question, isn't it? How long does it take for your soap batter to thicken up? Well, as you've seen in this video, every single fragrance is different. Some fragrances are pipeable in literally 5 minutes, and others, like this one, much longer than that. Probably 4 hours, because obviously, as I said, I've been making these now for at least 5 hours, but not all of that time has been spent actually pouring and piping. There's been a lot of space in between each one, just waiting for the soap batter of each colour to thicken up. So that's it for those ones. We're just gonna sprinkle on some pearlescent sugar. To be honest, I've never used coloured sugar before, but this actually looks really pretty. And then the Mini Cupcakes wouldn't be finished without a little bit of glitter. So as usual, the links for everything are in the description box. It's amazing how many people ask me where I get certain things, and I think a lot of people must be new to YouTube and they don't understand that in the description box is where all the information is for many YouTubers, not just for me. And here we are. Here are our mini cupcakes, all ready to go on the shelves to cure. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and like. Place a comment in the comment section below and get ready to tune in for our next video, which will be coming up very soon here at Eden's Secret. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all. Bye bye for now.